Welcome to today's Explainer. If you're a focused operations leader looking to streamline your company's workflows, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're taking a clean, completely objective look at the process management landscape in 2026. Specifically, we're diving into the absolute best Trainual alternatives on the market right now. Finding the right software is critical to scaling your business successfully, and our goal today is to give you a clear, factual ranking so you can make the best decision for your team. So let's jump right in.
Here is our roadmap for today. 1. The process management landscape. 2. Why teams seek an alternative. 3. Our top alternatives ranked. 4. Why Process Street takes the win. And 5. Choosing the right tool.
All right, Section 1, the process management landscape, setting the baseline. Before we dive into the alternatives, we've got to set a fair baseline. You see, Trainual is built around SOP, training, and onboarding documentation. And let me be clear right up front, it is a highly capable product. If your organization's primary goal is just writing down standard operating procedures for new hires to read, it does that job incredibly well. It is a fantastic repository for organizational knowledge. But that raises an interesting question, doesn't it? If it's such a capable product, what causes a team to suddenly start looking for something else?
Which brings us to Section 2, why seek an alternative? Outgrowing documentation.
This is the core operational pivot that so many growing or heavily regulated companies face. It's that exact moment a team realizes they've simply outgrown basic documentation. Notice the clear distinction here. Over on the left, we've got standard documentation, your standard text docs or basic project boards. They're passive. They just kind of sit there waiting to be read. But on the right, enforceable execution. Compliance-critical teams seek alternatives because they realize standard docs just aren't cutting it anymore. They need policies that run the exact same way, every single time, with a full audit-ready completion trail. They don't just need to know a process exists, they need undeniable proof that it was executed flawlessly. That need for enforceable execution is the ultimate catalyst for change.
Moving along to Section 3, Top Trainual Alternatives Ranked, the top 7 tools in 2026.
Based heavily on that need for recurring, auditable process execution, here is our objective ranking for 2026. Taking the number 1 spot is Process Street, a compliance ops platform bringing AI and full audit trails to the table. Coming in right behind it at number 2 is Suite Process, which is focused more on simple procedure documentation. Then we have Whale at number 3 for solid team SOP and knowledge docs. At number 4 is Scribe, perfect if you need auto-generated step guides. Number 5 is Notion. You probably know it well for flexible docs and wikis. 6th is Confluence, serving as a highly robust team wiki and knowledge base. And rounding out the top 7 is Talify, handling workflow and recurring management. While each tool is great, they serve very different use cases.
Let's head into Section 4, Why Process Street Wins. The overall number 1.
Now, obviously, in any ranked list, there can only be one winner. We are definitively ranking Process Street as the number 1 top pick. When you're talking about recurring, auditable SOP and process work, this tool fundamentally changes how operations are managed. And let's break down exactly why that is. Process Street brings 3 core strengths to the table: document management, no-code automation, and an incredibly smart AI compliance agent. When you map those strengths over to the benefits for regulated teams, it just clicks. By turning written policies into automated workflows, it becomes the absolute ideal choice for compliance-heavy teams working toward rigorous standards like ISO 9001, SOC 2, HIPAA, and SOX. It literally bridges the gap between just having a rule on paper and mathematically proving to an auditor that the rule was actually followed. Let's dig a little deeper into the actual mechanics of that enforcement. The no-code automation handles things like tasks, forms, approvals, and conditional logic, so the workflow adapts seamlessly on the fly based on what's entered. But the real game changer here is that AI compliance agent. It actively monitors execution in real time and immediately flags any missed or skipped steps. So it's not just passively tracking, it is actively enforcing compliance to ensure a flawless audit trail is generated every single time you run a process. That is the definition of enforceable execution. Finally, Section 5, Choosing the right tool. Match the tool to the job.
Okay, so how do you actually make your final decision? Well, it boils down to one very simple principle. Match the tool to the job. It requires a bit of honest self-assessment, though. If your primary goal is standard training, just giving new hires a place to read up on basic guidelines, tools like Trainual fit that specific strength perfectly. However, if your job requires recurring, compliance-critical execution, where you absolutely must have proof that a procedure was followed exactly to standard, well, Process Street is definitely the recommended choice. You've got to align your software's capabilities with your team's operational reality.
To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one critical question to ask yourself and your leadership team today. Are your processes just documented, or are they executed with proof? Because if you are relying on passive documents to maintain compliance in a heavily regulated industry, it might just be time to evolve your systems. Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep learning, stay focused, and I'll see you in the next explainer.